What is up, guys? Hey, Jerry Green here. Hey, just wanted to share with you more of what I consider to be the most important thing when it comes to dealing with sales here, and I should say acquisitions in the real estate space, okay? So one of the things that I'm a big believer in is to follow some type of sales process. But with that said, I want you guys to understand something, and I'm just going to kind of draw it out here a little bit, just real simple. And I think it's important that we understand this, that we kind of just lay this out in just real simplistic form, that a sales process to me, when it comes to putting deals together, whether you're wholesaling or fix and flip or buy and hold, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. I mean, the acquisition side still needs to take place. So for that to happen, there's some foundational things that you have to do. And number one, you have to follow some type of sales process. Now, I'm a big believer that the sales process itself can be broke up into two different parts, okay? So first of all, I look at part number one. So part number one is really, to me, about building the foundation of things in regarding the relationship, understanding the motivation, the rapport, and all those factors. Now, I'm not going to go in detail here in just this short video because I spend a full day just talking about the whole process of things and breaking it down. But understanding, guys, really that what I want you to get out of this, that there really is a way to look at this and break it down into two parts. So part one, to me, on this acquisitions process is to make sure, guys, you go in and you build the foundational things. Like I said, like building rapport, understanding the why they're selling, and what the problem is with things, and building that relationship and making sure that they truly are motivated. So just remember that. So that's all kind of part one. You've got to do that first. Okay, you have to build the foundation here. And then what I always tell people, either my own team or other people that I'm working with, is that before you move on, okay, into part two, okay, so part two of the sales process, the way I look at it is, you got to make sure that they are really a good candidate. And when I look at a good candidate, there's this true motivation there. If there's true motivation there, guess what? Then we can start taking to part two. Part two is where you go into the deep dive into things with the client. And that's where I see people really struggle with this on things, is what they do is they go into part one and then they jump right into a deep dive into it and go into all the details of the property to find out later there's no motivation. So remember, guys, on this, focus it and break it down into two parts. Part one is gather all the important data in regards to if there's a true candidate here, build rapport, and all those things you have to put in place to start the sales process, and then only really go deep on it if it warrants it. Because otherwise, you'll spend a ton of time on calls and maybe be on a call for 30, 40 minutes to find out there's nothing there, nothing you can do, because they never were really that motivated in the first place. Big tip on this, I do two parts. I suggest you do the same. Talk to you later, guys.